He accidentally sent the wrong message. And that's how I found out he was cheating on me. But the real jaw-dropper? It wasn't even about jealousy. It was the side chick's acting skills. I mean, girl deserves an Oscar for best emotional manipulation. This isn't just another toxic relationship rant. Nope. This is a full-blown love story packed with cheating, revenge, and a plot twist so twisted it could snap your brain like a ramen noodle. It's here to remind you, when a man messes up, lightning might not strike, but a woman just might. Gently, but devastatingly. If you've ever been cheated on, trusted the wrong person, or are clawing your way out of a dating disaster, then this story right here, it's a mirror, a hug, and a girl wake up. He is not worth it, all wrapped into one. Hit play. And let me tell you the whole story. Every little detail is there for a reason. Have you ever gotten a text that made you want to reply with nothing but a slap and an ellipsis? I have. The message was from my boyfriend, and unfortunately, it wasn't meant for me. It didn't say I love you. It didn't say I miss you so much. Nope. It said, last night was amazing. My girlfriend's been super busy lately. Let's pick up where we left off this weekend. I'm sorry, pick up what exactly? Episode 2 of your little cheating series? But wait, oh no, we're not done. Take a seat. This story has more layers than you think. Let me tell you from the top. And please, buckle up your emotional seatbelt. I used to think I wasn't the type to get easily shocked. I'm a designer. My left brain and right brain are in a constant street fight, so anything out of place, I catch it in a second. But trust me, there is no color grading software on this planet that could tone down that level of emotional whiplash. Here's what went down. It was a regular Tuesday night. I was half dead, dragging myself through color corrections for a mind-numbing project when my phone pinged. A message from Ben, my boyfriend. I opened it, and just like that, my life switched to full-on family drama mode. No supporting actors required. The message was a single line. Last night was amazing. My girlfriend's been super busy lately. Let's pick up this weekend. I read it 3 times, just to be sure it wasn't an Uber promo or some spam from the void. Nope. It was from my boyfriend, sent to someone who was very much not me. And no, don't ask me how I felt. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't throw my phone across the room. I opened Google Calendar. I know it sounds messed up, but in that moment I genuinely checked my travel schedule. Not his, mine. I needed to be absolutely sure I was home night, not off somewhere. And yep, confirmed, I was home. So this whole my girlfriend's out of town this week thing? Yeah. Who exactly is that referring to? You know those moments where you've only got 2 options, lose your mind or become iconic? I went with option 3, terrifyingly calm. Ben, my boyfriend, works in marketing. His entire world revolves around data, insights, KPIs. The man has a checklist for picking a toothbrush. Neat, clean, logical, speaks like a TED Talk. He's the kind of guy you look at and think, yeah, solid choice. And he really was. Right up until he sent the wrong person his affair text. Here's the thing. A man cheating? Sadly, not groundbreaking. But cheating and accidentally texting the wrong woman? Now that deserves the Bluetooth Horns of the Year award. I know someone out there is thinking, wait, why didn't you just call him up and demand answers? Well, because I was still waiting to see how the play would unfold. Ben didn't know that I knew. And me? I'm the observant type. It comes with the job. I'm a designer. Detail isn't just a skill, it's my survival instinct. If I can fine-tune the lighting on someone's eyeball in a promo poster, then yeah, I absolutely notice the tiniest changes in his behavior. Like lately, he's been coming home late. Says it's team meetings. But I freelance. I know agency deadlines are flimsier than instant noodles. And one night, I caught a whiff of a cologne I didn't recognize. Not his usual safe and boring scent. This one said I'm trying to impress someone who isn't my girlfriend. Sometimes, I'd catch him smiling at his phone. That sneaky little smirk. The kind of smile that, if it were me doing it, he'd say, babe, you're overthinking again. And the real kicker? Every time I'd ask, do you feel like we're drifting apart? He'd just give me a soft smile and kiss me on the forehead. Classic. I had this gut feeling, like a whisper from someone else's heart was slipping into our relationship. Not the I've fallen for someone new kind of whisper. More like the emotional cheating kind. Starting with flirty texts, innocent chats, and snowballing into full-blown stories behind my back. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the revenge on day one type. I don't rant online, I don't post angry quotes, I don't drag my bestie on stakeout missions. I just replied to his little cheating text with a single line. Wrong girl, but don't worry, I understand. No exclamation mark, no emoji, just a cold, clean sentence. The kind of text that makes whoever reads it stop breathing for a solid 0.5 seconds. And you know what? He didn't reply. Maybe he thought I didn't catch on, or maybe he figured I was pretending not to know. Either way, fine by me. I let him live in that little fantasy bubble for a few more days. As for me, I had already kicked off my journey of revenge without lifting a finger. And thanks to that one misfired message, I found out he wasn't the only one betraying me. Yep, turns out there was more than one traitor in this story. And the other woman? She's the one who really knocked the wind out of me. But, hold up. This love story hasn't even hit the juicy part yet. About a week after that iconic wrong text moment, I started thinking a lot about Natalie, my best friend. And I say best friend in the used-to-be kind of way. We used to share everything, used to sleep in the same bed on trips, used to hold hands and cry over trash men like it was a sisterhood ritual. Natalie was the soft type. Her voice always sounded like a calm morning podcast. She'd send me inspirational quotes about healing and self-worth. Sometimes she'd drop lines like, "Remember, your heart is a garden, not a battlefield." Sounds deep, right? But ever since that cheating text, I couldn't help but wonder, is someone out there stomping all over my garden? Over the past few months, Natalie and Ben had these suspicious little gaps in their schedules. Like, Natalie would say she was too busy for brunch, and Ben, on the exact same day, would claim he had an early meeting. One weekend, I asked Natalie to hang out. She said she had to go visit her family. Ben said he had a thing to take care of in that same neighborhood. I didn't think much of it back then, but now, piecing it together? Yeah, I'm guessing they didn't realize I basically had their entire life calendars memorized. Still, I didn't jump to conclusions. I needed a little dress rehearsal. So I invited Natalie to brunch. Same spot as always, a cute little place she loved. They do her favorite Eggs Benedict. I booked a table. Even pre-ordered her mimosa, like I always do. I smiled, complimented her outfit. Let her ramble about those emotional release workshops she'd been attending. I sat there nodding, smiling, even threw in a few wows at the right beats. So there we were, mid-avocado toast, when I casually dropped this line. I read this story the other day. Girl finds out her boyfriend's cheating with her best friend, but she doesn't confront anyone, just stays silent and walks away. Honestly, that kind of exit? Classy as hell. I didn't look at Natalie, kept my eyes on my plate, took a sip of water, twirled my hair like nothing was up. But I heard it, the faint pause in her fork scraping against the plate. Just for a split second. Then came the awkward little smile. Law? I guess that's someone who's strong enough not to need a fight. Her voice was still soft, same calm, podcast tone. But her eyes couldn't quite hold mine. I didn't say another word, no pushing, no probing. The rest of brunch was perfectly normal. We hugged goodbye. I even said, let's go get massages sometime. She smiled and nodded, but when I got home she had blocked me on Instagram. No words, no texts, no drama, no explanation. Just a cold, clean block. Like my existence was suddenly too much for her to breathe around. And me? I just sat there, staring at my phone screen for a while. Not out of rage, but because, in that one quiet move, everything clicked. I didn't cry. Wasn't even as sad as you'd think. I just opened my notes app and typed one line, game on. From that moment, I did what I do best. Broke down emotional chaos like it was a layout for a design brief. I grabbed a real pen and paper, old school style, and started drawing a timeline of every suspicious disappearance Ben and Natalie had. Like that night my movie date got canceled. Ben said he had a last-minute meeting. Natalie texted, probably sleeping the whole day lol. One Friday night, Natalie posted a story. A glass of red wine. No tags. But I knew exactly where that second glass was. On my birthday, Ben said he was swamped with work. Natalie claimed she had cramps. But that same night, in someone else's photo, I spotted a familiar silhouette, laughing, next to someone who looked very familiar. Every little detail, every awkward silence in conversations, every time Natalie forgot to ask about Ben. It all lined up a little too perfectly to be coincidence. Now I know what people would ask. Why don't you just say something? Just ask them straight up. Allow me to respond in the iciest tone I've got. I don't need proof. I need a confession. I don't want to be a detective in my own love life. I'm not here to dig through corners, hunting for lipstick stains or stray hairs or checking security cams. I'm not living in a true crime episode. I live in a world where I choose to stand still and let everything fall into place exactly where it's meant to. Because if someone's bold enough to betray you behind your back, they're usually dumb enough to expose themselves right in front of you. I didn't need to catch them in the act. I just needed to see how far they were willing to keep performing. And let me tell you, that block from Natalie, to me it was the quietest, clearest confession I've ever received. Her block wasn't an ending. It was the opening act of a game I never invited them to, but I was more than ready to referee. And instead of going nuclear, I chose stillness. The kind of stillness that makes people spiral inside their own heads. I started leaking little pieces of bait, vague, harmless, curious crumbs, like dropping a trail in the woods and waiting to see which creature sniffs first. Didn't confront anyone. Didn't throw shade. Just casually texted a mutual friend of me and Natalie, something like, "Ben's been acting weird lately. I'm not sure, but something feels off." I knew it. That kind of message doesn't just sit quietly in a chat bubble. It gets forwarded, retold, spiced up like a neighborhood scandal, and just like I wanted, it made its way right to Natalie's ears. A week later, my friend, completely unaware she was now my unofficial intel channel, texted me, "Hey, I casually brought up Ben when I was chatting with Nat yesterday." She smiled all weird and said, "He's probably just stressed from work." But girl, her face was tighter than a deadline. I nodded, didn't even reply. A few days later, I accidentally sent Natalie the infamous message Ben once misfired to me. No words, no caption, no question mark, no exclamation point. Just that one soul-freezing line bounced back to her like a mirror. And this time, she read it immediately. Didn't reply. Half a day later, she blocked my number. Instagram was already gone. Now the phone, too. Honestly, I respect the consistency. But you know what? That's exactly what panic looks like on Natalie. Nobody runs from something unless they're afraid of it. And Natalie, the same girl who once looked me dead in the eye and declared, "I can't stand women who mess with someone else's man. No self-respect at all." Yeah, she's now officially become the very woman she used to despise. I remember one night, post-party, both of us lying in the same bed, half drunk and overly honest. She said, "If I ever found out my best friend slept with my boyfriend, I don't think I'd even say anything. I'd just smile and disappear from their lives like I was never there." Well, surprise, Nat. I don't need to disappear. I just need to sit still and let you burn your own script. Then, oh, he's been walking on emotional thin ice these past few weeks. His sentences are shakier than usual, eyes darting to me like he's trying to read my mind. But the second I look back, he looks away like I just turned Medusa on him. I casually asked, "You and Nat aren't talking much anymore?" He forced a smile. Maybe just busy or something." Yeah, busy blocking me, apparently. Every time we talk, there's something off. His stories have plot holes. His schedule keeps looping like a glitchy calendar app. I don't question him, don't challenge anything. I just listen, nod, and let silence do the rest. I once heard this relationship advice. If you want to know who's lying to you, don't watch what they say. Watch the silence between their sentences. And Ben? Oh, he's got a whole symphony of unnecessary silence. And Natalie? Oh, she's made quite the journey. From posting quotes like, "Kind love doesn't make you doubt yourself," to now sharing stories that say, "Everyone has a reason to betray, but no one has the right." I saw it. I dropped a like. The kind of like that says, "I see you, girl." No comments, no DMs, just vibes, full set. And then came the cherry on top. A friend casually told me, "Hey, Nat was saying you're suspicious about something. She said you're probably just being paranoid because Ben's been busy lately." So now I'm the jealous girlfriend, and they're the poor misunderstood victims of miscommunication? Cute. Real cute. I didn't get mad. I just took notes. Every sentence, every reaction, every micro move. Like a designer fine-tuning the final layout before sending it off to the client. And just like I predicted, once one of them starts to feel scared, both of them start to suspect each other. I don't know exactly what they've been saying to each other behind my back, but one thing I do know for sure, the trust between them is officially gone. I could see it, plain as day, in Ben's eyes. How much does she know? And in Natalie's head, I bet it was screaming, "Why hasn't he shut this down yet? Why is she still so damn quiet?" Because when you're not sure how much someone knows, you start peeling your own layers off, voluntarily. And me, I just stood there, watching them both fall into a trap I never even bothered to set properly. No cameras. No voice memos, no threatening emails, just a few well-timed nods, a couple of strategic silences, and a few screenshots, sent back just because. The result? Ben asked me the other day if I'd been feeling down lately. I gave him a soft smile and said, I've just been learning to listen to the empty spaces in our relationship. He had no idea how to respond, just scratched his head like his brain blue-screened. And Natalie, she's gone full private on all her accounts. No more quotes, no more healing, no more soft, centered podcast energy. I didn't have to push, because they're sinking all on their own. The more afraid they are of what I might know, the more they start exposing each other. And that's when it hit me. Without lifting a single finger, I was still the one playing the board. Ben didn't crack because of guilt. He cracked because I forced him to choose. And no matter which side he picked, he was screwed. Right after I sent that infamous misfired message back to Natalie and watched her block me again, I decided it was time to move. No more playing the quiet spectator. Now, I was the scriptwriter. I didn't say a word to Ben, just sent him an old photo, Natalie and Ben at Target. The same day, Natalie told me she was staying in to watch Netflix with her mom. The shot was taken from a distance, faces a blur, but Ben's red hoodie and Natalie's unmistakable floral leggings were crystal clear. Along with the photo, I sent one line, "You know I'm good at design, right? No threats, no price tag." But I knew it was enough to make him break a sweat. And I knew exactly how he'd react. Deny, deflect, and then throw someone under the bus. But this time, he threw the wrong person. A few hours later, Natalie posted her first story. Sad music. Caption read, "The worst pain is realizing you weren't the only one being lied to." That's when I knew. Ben had tried to patch things up with her by throwing me under the bus. I could already picture it. She's just trying to come between us. Or the classic gaslight special. You don't get it. She's not well. Her mind's all over the place. And just like that, Natalie turned the gun. Only this time, she wasn't just aiming at me. She turned it on Ben, too. She started posting stories nonstop. No tags, no names. But the smell of drama? Absolutely blood in the water. Love has no room for someone who doesn't know what they want. I thought I was the exception. Turns out I was just the next turn in line. A cheater will always cheat, one person at a time. Natalie was spiraling. It was clear. I wasn't the only one Ben was dating online while telling me he loved me. She knew now. But more importantly, she realized she'd just been another pit stop in Ben's grand tour of betrayal, and she couldn't handle it. That's when I knew it was time to pour a little fuel on the fire. Not with words, with proof. I sent Natalie, from an anonymous account, another screenshot. A WhatsApp message from Ben to yet another girl where he called her my safe place. I had saved it weeks ago when I happened to glance at his phone. No explanation, no signature, no question marks. Just the truth, quietly delivered like a flit between ribs. No need to tell her who I was. The message was loud enough. Ben didn't just betray me. He betrayed her too. A few hours later, Natalie's Instagram went full meltdown mode. She went live, cried, didn't drop names, but anyone who's been following along knew. Her closing line, "He's a whole ecosystem of betrayal," and I was stupid enough to think I was the chosen one. I watched the entire live stream, from start to finish, snack in hand, not missing a single second. When it ended, I tapped one reaction. No comment, no words of comfort, no DM. That little heart, a silent thank you for taking out the trash on my behalf. While Natalie was posting emotional stories every hour on the hour, Ben sent me an email the length of an HR apology letter, explaining why he lost himself, why he needed love, why he made the wrong choice. I replied with one line, "You made the wrong choice and thought you were slick enough not to pay for it." Then I blocked him. Really blocked him. No second thoughts, no second chances, no reruns. But the revenge? Oh no, it didn't stop there. I sent an anonymous email to Ben's HR department. Subject line, "Kindly review Project Manager Ben H's extracurricular activities, particularly during remote work hours." Attached was a link to Natalie's now not-so-cryptic post, hinting that Ben had used his position to date a former employee. No name. No follow-up needed. Just a quiet oil stain on the corporate floor. If anyone lights the match, that's on their system, not mine. I slipped out of the mutual friend group, unfollowed without a word, deleted the old playlists, wiped the photo backups. I didn't need to destroy anyone. I just needed to remove myself from that toxic little ecosystem and let it collapse all on its own. Natalie? She's probably still out there trying to heal. Ben? Most likely drafting some long, overly dramatic Reddit post about how he loved too deeply, and how no one ever really understood him. And me? I stood outside it all, clear-headed, quiet, needing no grand finale. Just one thought echoed in my mind. I don't need to hold the knife. I just need to hold up the mirror. I moved out of the old apartment in silence. No announcement, no dramatic breakup status, no artsy photo of a suitcase by the window with a caption like, "A new chapter begins." I simply called an Uber, made exactly 2 polite sentences of small talk with the driver, and disappeared. Like someone who just realized she'd been living on the wrong square of the emotional map. The new apartment is smaller, quieter. No one knows where I am. The view's not great, nothing Instagram-worthy or chill. But there are 0 memories lingering in the kitchen or hiding under the pillow, and honestly, that's all I needed. I lived like I disappeared from my old universe. No stories, no quotes, no sob posts, just a few close friends sliding into my DMs asking, "Girl, where are you?" I answered with one word, "Out." That's it. Ben didn't get out. 3 days after I moved, he started texting. The classics, "I know I messed up," "Losing you is losing everything," and my personal favorite, "Can we just talk one last time?" I left him on read, didn't respond, because yes, I did have one final conversation, just not with him. It was with myself, and it went, "Let's not be stupid ever again." As for Natalie, plot twist. She gets the final twist. My ex-best friend, the quote queen, the spiritual guru of self-worth and healing, is pregnant. The catch? She's not sure who the father is. Word is she's torn between Ben and some recycled ex she started seeing a few weeks after everything exploded. I heard that little gem from an old friend bumped into her at Target of all places. Yes, the irony did slap. She leaned in and whispered, "Did you hear? Natalie's in deep mess mode." I just nodded and said, "Yeah, her emotional stability's like Wi-Fi during a thunderstorm." I didn't feel smug. Didn't send her a baby registry. I just felt like the universe was running its karma engine right on schedule. That night, I sat down and typed out a short, clean email. 0 emotion, no flourish, just the facts. I believe the company should review the conduct of mid-level manager Ben H., particularly regarding inappropriate personal relationships during work hours and misuse of remote work time. No name, no personal email, not even an exclamation mark. Just a quiet little brick left neatly at HR's doorstep. If someone trips over it, well, that's just fate doing its job. I never needed to win. Never needed an apology. I just needed to not be on the same team as people who treat trust like a bargaining chip. How they live, who they love, whether they date via Tinder or a wormhole through space-time, not my business. Just one rule. Don't ever assume I don't know. And don't ever think I'll stay quiet forever. These days, whenever someone asks me, "So after everything, how do you feel?" I just smile, raise my glass of water, because I don't do coffee, and say, "Some people lose their wife, their side chick, and their job, and still blame it on bad luck. No, babe, it's not bad luck, it's stupidity. And lucky for me, he was very, very stupid." Love stories? They don't always need a dramatic finale. Sometimes the ending is just you waking up one day, quietly packing up your worth and walking out. Not because someone gave you a reason, but because you finally realized you deserve more than cheap emotions sold at full price. I didn't win. I just no longer sit at a table where people hide knives under napkins. And if you've ever been in a toxic relationship, trusted the wrong person, or got demoted to a backup plan in your own damn love story, well, hey, welcome to the club. The real question is, will you wait for their apology? Or stand up and quietly close the door so it doesn't slam? If this story made you feel a mix of rage, laughter, and that uncomfortable, ouch, that hit me kind of truth, then don't forget to hit subscribe, because here we tell real love stories, salty like the sea and twisted like bleached hair. Share this video if you've ever been hit with a wrong message of betrayal, and drop a comment to tell me, when was your most clear-headed moment in love? See you in the next video, where we still believe in love, just the kind that doesn't feel like an IQ test.